Good evening, my dear students. Welcome to Sankalp learning classes. In the last class, we have started the chapter Heredity, right? Yes. Good evening, everyone. I repeat once again, dear students, unnecessarily don't chat in the chat box, okay? If you have any doubts, then only you can chat in the chat box. Otherwise, I'm unable to get the questions. So some students, they are writing the questions in the chat box, but remaining students, they are simply chatting in the chat box. So that may disturb. Okay, so I'm not getting the question. Some students are asking the questions in the comment box. So ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಚಾಟ್ ಅನ್ನೆಸೆಸರಿಲಿ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ನೀವು ಅನ್ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಆಗಿ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ರು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸು ಜೆನ್ಯೂನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಪಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಓಕೆ. Yes. So in the last class, what we have studied? Monohybrid cross and the dihybrid cross, right? Monohybrid and the dihybrid cross that we have studied. Monohybrid cross. Monohybrid cross. Okay. So what is monohybrid cross? What is monohybrid cross? Here, in monohybrid cross, single character of the pea plant is only height of the plant is crossed, right? So in monohybrid cross, the single character, so that is crossed, single contrasting character that is taken for the experiment. Okay, so what is dihybrid cross? So that also we have studied in the last class. What is dihybrid cross? What is dihybrid cross? Dihybrid cross means two contrasting characters are crossed. Here, for example, round shape of the seed, that is round, and the color of the seed green, two contrasting characters that is taken for the experiment. So that is the dihybrid cross that we have studied in the last class, right? So next topic, that is about sex determination. So there are different strategies for the sex determination. Some species rely on entirely on the environmental cues, means sex that is determined by the environment. Okay, so for example, in a few species, in a few reptiles, the temperature at which fertilized eggs are kept determines whether they become male or female. So ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಡಿಟರ್ಮೈನ್ ದ ಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ನ್ಯೂ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ರೆಪ್ಟೈಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ರೆಪ್ಟೈಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್, ಎಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ದ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಎಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕೆಪ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಎಗ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಎಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ kept in which temperature, based on that, so the sex of the that organism is determined. Okay, in animals such as snails, individuals can change sex. It indicates that their sex is not genetically determined. Means some organisms, they change their sex, individuals change their sex, for example snails. So here what we can say, the sex is genetically not determined. Okay, but in case of human beings, how sex is determined, right? So in case of human beings, males and females, they produces the gametes, right? Male gamete, and the female gamete. Male gamete, that is the male gamete, that is the sperm and Female gamete, that is the egg. So male produces the sperm, I will write here, and female, that is egg. So you can see the egg and the sperms here. So these gametes, so this sperm, so they either contains X chromosome or Y chromosome. Okay, any one chromosome may be present in the sperms, and egg that contains X chromosome always. Okay, so see here, the sperm from the male either that may contain X chromosome or Y chromosome. Egg always contain X chromosome. Okay, when the sperm that is having the X chromosome that fertilizes with the egg always contain the X alva. Egg alli enirutte yavaglu X irutte, so that will become XX. And the sperm that contain Y fertilizes with the ovum, that will become XY. Here the organism which is having the human beings which are having the XX chromosome, they will become female. Okay, XX chromosome means female and XY chromosome means males. Okay, so XX and XY. So the sex is determined by this XX and XY chromosomes. Okay, so in human beings, I hope this concept is clear. I explain once again. Males always they produces the gametes, that is called as sperm. Okay, and female they produces the egg. Here the sperm either it may contain X or Y chromosome, either X or Y. But this egg always contain which chromosome? X chromosome. The sperm which is having the X chromosome fertilizes with the egg, then the resultant offspring will be XX. Okay. And the sperm which is having the Y chromosome fuses with the egg, because egg always having the X chromosome. It will become XY. Okay. So XX means female, XY means male. Okay. So what we can say here, the sex is determined by the father, not by the mother. Alba. So sex is determined by the father, not by the mother. Here, in human beings, the sex is genetically determined. The genes inherit from parents decide whether an individual be boy or girl. Okay. So all human beings chromosomes are not paired. Most human chromosomes have a maternal and paternal copy, so that have 22 such pairs. Okay, 22 pairs of chromosomes, they are same in both male and female, but 23rd pair, so ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕಮೆಂಟ್. ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಕ್ಲಾಸು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಮಂಡೇ ಟ್ಯೂಸ್ಡೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಮಂಡೇ ಟ್ಯೂಸ್ಡೇ ವೆಡ್ನೆಸ್ಡೇ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ 3 days ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ. Yes, total how many number of chromosomes are present? 20, not 23. Total 23 pairs. 23 pairs. 23 pairs ಇರುತ್ತೆ. 23 pair ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು? 46 chromosomes alva. 23 pairs andre many students are writing 23. Okay, so 23 pairs means 46 chromosomes, right? So out of this, 22 pairs of chromosomes are same in male and female. Okay, 46, not 42, 46. Okay, so 22 pairs are same in both male and female, but 23rd pair, that is sex chromosome, either it may be XX chromosome or XY chromosome. ನೋಡಿ 22 ಪೇರ್ ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ XY ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ will develop into male or female. 22 chromosomes plus XY chromosome ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲ ಫಿಮೇಲ? Then male or female? Please comment. Yes, male. Very good. Padma Viresh, male. Usha Manya, yes, male. You are right. Then 22 chromosomes plus X chromosome is there means that will become female baby. Okay. So here half of the children will be boys and half will be the girls. So all children inherit an X chromosome from their mother. So always one X chromosome that is from the mother because the egg is made up of X chromosome. Sex of the children is determined by father. A child who inherits X chromosome from the father will be a girl and one who inherits Y chromosome will be a boy. So what we can say here, the sex of the children is determined by the father, not by the mother. Okay. That is very important thing. Okay. So this is the last topic of this chapter. So this topic completes the heredity chapter. So heredity chapter ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಏನೇನ ಕಲ್ತ್ವಿ? So ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ what is variation and how it inherits from generation to the next generation. Mainly monohybrid cross of Mendel's experiment and the dihybrid cross. Monohybrid cross and the dihybrid cross. Okay, monohybrid and the dihybrid cross. Then sex determination. So these are the three important topics. Just I'm telling the important topics only. Sex determination, this is the important topic. Okay, monohybrid, dihybrid and the sex determination. So this completes the chapter heredity. So let us move to the next part, that is, so we'll solve some questions. Okay, so ಕೆಲವೊಂದು questions ಅನ್ನ ಈ ಒಂದು chapter ಮೇಲೆ solve ಮಾಡೋಣ. So first we are taking the MCQ question, 1 mark, 5 mark questions like that. Okay, so please concentrate on this. If a round green seeded pea plant is crossed with wrinkled yellow seeded pea plant, the seeds produced in F1 generation are. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ರೌಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಸೀಡೆಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ವೈ crossed with wrinkled yellow means small r capital Y. The seeds produced in F1 generation are. So F1 generation, here the gametes, that is capital R small y, this is the gamete, and small r capital Y is the gamete. Okay, so here F1 generation plants, so that is with capital R, small r, and here small r is there, small y, capital Y, right? Small y, capital Y. So F1 generation plants, so they are here they are having the capital R and capital Y. So what we can say here, round and green seeds? No, round and green seeds means small y should be there, only small y should be there. Wrinkled and yellow seeds, wrinkled means only small r ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ r ಇರಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ r ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ರೌಂಡ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ r ಇದೆ, capital Y ಇದೆ. So option C is the correct answer. So ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದು correct answer? Option C. This question was asked in a question paper. Okay. Okay, many students answered this question. C. Yes, very good. C. Next one, a pure dominant pea plant producing round yellow seeds is crossed with pure recessive pea plant producing wrinkled green seeds. The number of plants bearing round green seeds in the F1 generation of Mendel's experiment is a pure dominant pea plant. Pure dominant pea plant means so producing round yellow seeds. Okay. So pure dominant means capital R, capital R, capital Y, we can write. Crossed with pure recessive pea plant producing wrinkled green seeds. Wrinkled green seeds means small r, small y. Okay. The number of plants bearing round green seeds in the F1 generation. Okay. So let us write the gametes. Capital R, capital Y here, gamete. And here small r, small y is the gamete. Then F1 generation plants which are having capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Means F1 generation plants all are producing the round yellow seeds. Okay. But here what they asked, the number of seeds, number of plants bearing round green seeds. How many plants producing the round green seeds in F1 generation? Is it 0, 1, 3, 9? Many students are writing 9. No, that is the wrong answer. Option A, because what they asked in the F1 generation, how many plants are producing round green seeds? In the F1 generation, how many plants are producing round green seeds? Okay, here all are producing round yellow seeds, right? So, no plants are producing the round green seeds. So, option A is the correct answer. Option A. Next question. Mendel conducted his famous breeding experiments by working on the following: Drosophila, Escherichia coli, Pisum sativum, all of this. Here, Mendel conducted his experiments on the pea plant, right? Pea plants. So, this not on Drosophila, not on this bacteria. Pea plants. What is the scientific name of the pea plant? That is Pisum sativum. Okay. Option C is the correct answer. Next question. Which section of DNA provides the information for one protein? Which section of DNA provides the information for one protein? Option A, nucleus. Option B, chromosome. Option C, trait. Option D, gene. So that the correct answer is the section of DNA. So just imagine this is the DNA that provides the information for one protein, that is gene. Okay. Option D is the correct answer. Please note down the question. Next question. In peas, a pure tall is crossed with pure short plant. The ratio of pure tall plants to the pure short plants in the F2 generation is. So anybody try to answer this question? Please try to answer this question. Okay. Here, pure tall plant, that is TT, crossed with the small t, right? So, F1 generation plants all will be capital T, small t. When these plants are crossed, T and T crossed, so in the F2 generation, capital T, capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, and small t. Okay. So what is the question? The ratio of pure tall plants and pure short plants. Pure tall plant and pure short plant. Pure means which is having the same, that is TT, homologous condition. That is TT is there means that is pure. Small t is there means that is pure. If capital T, small t is there, that is not pure. So now can you say the answer? Anybody? Not 3:1. Yes. Option C. Yes, very good. Here, the ratio of pure tall plants to the pure short plant. Here, only one capital T is there, only one small t is there. That is 1:1. But 3:1. What is 3:1? So, the ratio of the plants, tall plants and the short plants. The ratio of tall plants and the short plants in the F2 generation, that is 3:1. Read the question properly. Okay. All are writing 3:1, 3:1. But read the question properly. Next question. A zygote which has an X chromosome inherited from the father will develop into a boy, girl. X chromosome does not determine the sex of the child, either boy or girl. Yes, what is the answer for this question? Sixth question. Here, yes, anybody? Okay. A zygote which has an X chromosome inherited from the father. So from father X chromosome, and mother always in from mother always it inherit the X chromosome. XX means that is girl. So option B is the correct answer. Okay. Next question. Two pea plants, one with round green seeds and another with wrinkled yellow seeds, produces the F1 progeny that have round yellow seeds. Okay. When F1 plants are self-pollinated, F2 progeny will have new combinations of characters. Choose the new combination of the following. So this is based on the dihybrid cross. Okay. So what we have ಸ್ಟಡಿಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರೀಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್. ಅದನ್ನ ರೀಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗಿದೆ, ಎರಡು ಪಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ ಇದೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ ಇದೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ವೈ. ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ವಾ ಅದೇ ತರ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ವೈ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ, F1 ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ದ ಆರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ವೈ gamete, small r ಮತ್ತೆ capital Y gamete. Okay. So F1 generation produces capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. ಅಲ್ವಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. F2 ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಏನೇನ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೋಡಿ F2 ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನಿನ್ನೆ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಇದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಿದೆ? ರೌಂಡ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ರೌಂಡ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಸೀಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಏನಿದೆ? ರೌಂಡ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ರಿಂಕಲ್ಡ್ ರೌಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ರೌಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಸೀಡ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ರೌಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್, ರಿಂಕಲ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ರೌಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ರಿಂಕಲ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಏನ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ? ರೌಂಡ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಸೀಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ. ರೌಂಡ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಂಕಲ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಸೀಡ್. ಸೊ ಇದೆರಡು ಹೊಸ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ರಿಂಕಲ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದು ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ? ರೌಂಡ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಂಕಲ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್, 1 and 4. So option B is the correct answer. If a normal cell of human body contains 46 pairs of, not 46 pairs, 46 chromosomes, then the number of chromosomes in a sex cell of a human being is most likely to be. Yes, what is the answer for this question? So in a sex cell, how many chromosomes will be there? That is also a 23. Okay. Next question. Independent inheritance of two separate traits, shape and color of seeds in a Mendel's cross on a pea plants resulted in an observable ratio. What is the ratio? 3 is to 1, 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1, 1 is to 1, 9 is to 4 is to 2 is to 1. So what is the observable ratio of the Mendel's dihybrid cross experiment? Please comment in the comment box. Ninth one. Not A. Ninth one, 3 is to 1, that is the monohybrid cross. Not 3 is to 1. Yes, option B. 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Okay. Next question. A cross between a tall pea plant, that is TT, and a short pea plant, small t, resulted in a progenies that were all tall plants because tallness is the recessive trait, shortness is the dominant trait, height of the plant is not governed by a gene T or T, tallness is the dominant trait. ಇಲ್ಲಿ F1 generation plants ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? That were all tall plants because F1 generation plants ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? Tall ಆಗತ್ತೆ because tallness is the dominant trait because tallness ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು dominant trait ಆಗಿದೆ. Okay. So yes, a trait that cannot be inherited among the following is option A, shape of the eye, color of the hair, type of the blood group, playing skills. Okay. Yes, which is cannot be inherited from the parents to the next generation. Next generation ಗೆ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಗೆ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ? Yes, anybody? Shape of the eye that can be inherit to the next generation. Color of the hair that also inherit to the next generation. Type of blood group also inherits. But playing skill, option D. So this playing skills that cannot be transmitted from one generation to the next generation. Okay. Next question. Please note down this question. Pea plants with round seeds are crossed with pea plants with wrinkled seeds small r. The percentage of plants that are having capital R genetic makeup in a F2 generation is. Yes, anybody? Pea plants with round seeds. Round seeds means capital R already given. Crossed with the pea plants with wrinkled seeds, that is small r. Okay. The percentage of plants that are having RR as a genetic makeup in the F2 generation. Okay, F2 generation ಅಲ್ಲಿ RR ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ನೋಡಿ F1 ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ R ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ r ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ನೋಡಿ F1 ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆರ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ನೋಡಿ F2 ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆರ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆರ್. ಈಗ F2 ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನೋಡಿ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆರ್, ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ದೆನ್ this R fuses with this capital R, it will become capital R. Then this R fuses with the small r, then it will become capital R, small r. Then here again capital R, small r, small r ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ F2 ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, this is the F2 ಜನರೇಷನ್ plants. ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 4 ಓನ್ಲಿ 1. ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 4 ಓನ್ಲಿ 1 ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್, 25%. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, let us move to the next question. What is the sex of the baby? What the sex of the baby? What is the sex of the child born by receiving X chromosome from the father? So father in the X chromosome ide hage mother always, so that gives the X chromosome. So XX chromosome, what is the sex of the baby? That is female, right? The sex of the baby, that is female. The correct answer is female. Next question. What is heredity? What is heredity? Okay. Yes. Heredity is the transmission of characters from parents to the offspring. Okay. That is the heredity. Next question. Name the scientist who worked on rules of the inheritance. Name the scientist who worked on rules of the inheritance. Yes. Gregor Johann Mendel. Okay. So the scientist who worked on the rules of the inheritance, the name is Gregor Johann Mendel. Next question. Write the contrasting characters of the pea plant which are used by the Mendel for his experiment. Which are used by the Mendel for his experiments. Here, the contrasting characters like round or wrinkled seeds, tall or short plants, white or violet flowers. These are the contrasting characters used by the Mendel for his experiments. Next one, what are dominant trait? Dominant means which is expressed, okay, which is expressed, that is called as a dominant trait, which is not expressed, that is called as a recessive trait, okay. The expressed trait is called as the dominant trait. For example, ಇಲ್ಲಿ capital T small t ಇದ್ದಾಗ height ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಈ capital T ಇರೋದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ t ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ, that is the recessive trait. Which is the suppressed trait is called as the recessive trait. Okay, what is the phenotypic ratio of the dihybrid cross? Yes, anybody? What is the phenotypic ratio of the dihybrid cross? What is the phenotypic ratio of the dihybrid cross? That is 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Okay. Not 3 is to 1. Dihybrid cross anta ide alva. Dihybrid cross phenotypic ratio ಏನು? That is 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. When pure breeding tall plants are crossed with pure breeding dwarf plants, F1 generation plants are tall or dwarf. Okay. So pure breeding means pure breeding tall means that is capital T, capital T. Okay, pure breeding tall means capital T, capital T. And pure breeding dwarf means small t, small t. Okay. So F1 generation plants are tall or dwarf. F1 generation plants, they are having the capital T, small t in their genetic makeup. Then capital T, small t is there means what is the character? They all are tall plants. Yes, all are tall plants. Next question. Yes, this is the important question. Round seed producing, already given, is hybridized with wrinkled seed producing small r pea plant. Mention the results obtained in F2 generation with the help of checkerboard. Write the genotypic ratio of the plant types. Okay. Here, what we have to do here, round seed producing pea plants, that is capital R parents. Okay, parental generation, that is capital R crossed with wrinkled seed producing plant, that is small r. Okay. So here gametes produced, that here capital R and here small r. Okay. So F1 generation plants, that is capital R, small r. Okay. All are tall plants. Then F2 generation, how you can obtain the F2 generation? By crossing the capital R, small r crossed with the capital R, small r. Okay. Using the checkerboard. Using the checkerboard. So here capital R is one gamete and small r is the another gamete. And here also same gametes are produced. So ನೋಡಿ next ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಚೆಕ್ಕರ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Capital R, small r. Here capital R, small r. Okay. So just add and write capital R, capital R, capital R, small r, capital R, small r, small r, small r. So here capital R, capital R, capital R, small r, capital R, small r, and small r, small r. Okay. So tall plants and the one is the dwarf plant. Next question. How father is responsible to determine the sex of the child in humans? How father is responsible? Here, sperm always produces sperm. They always contain either X or Y chromosome. But egg always contain the X chromosome. Okay. So, we can say that father is responsible for the sex of, to determine the sex of the child, because either X sperm contain X or Y fuses with the X chromosome of the egg. So father is responsible to determine the sex of the baby. Next question. So this is also very important question. The gene for brown colored hair is recessive over the gene for black colored hair. What is the hair color of the person who has inherited the gene for brown colored hair from the mother and black colored hair from the father? See here, A gene for brown colored hair is recessive. ಈ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಹೇರ್ ನಾನಿಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರಿಸೆಸಿವ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಬಿ. ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕಲರಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದು ರಿಸೆಸಿವ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ? ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಹೇರ್ ಕಲರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇನ್ಹೆರಿಟೆಡ್ ದ ಜೀನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಮದರ್? ಮದರ್ ಇಂದ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಗೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಫಾದರ್ ಇಂದ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ ಹೇರ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇರತ್ತೆ ಟು ದ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್? So the offspring is having the black color hair. Okay. Next question. Next again same question. How is the sex of the child will be determined in human beings? How Mendel's experiments show the parental traits are inherited independently to the offspring of the next generation ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಹೌ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಟರ್ಮೈನ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಇದನ್ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಹೌ ಮೆಂಡಲ್ಸ್ experiments show that the parental traits are inherited independently to the offspring of the next generation. So ಈ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಡೈಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಡೈಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, yes, you can write the answer for the first question here. Dear students, please note down the question. Next question. A tall pea plant is crossed with the dwarf pea plant. Mention the types of plants obtained in the F1 generation and represent the result obtained in F2 generation with the help of checkerboard, and mention the ratio of varieties of plants. Please note down this question. See here, tall pea plant. ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನೋಡಿ, ಟಾಲ್ ಪೀ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಮೋನೋ ಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಟಾಲ್ ಪೀ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಡ್ವಾರ್ಫ್ ಪೀ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್. F1 ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಗೆ F2 ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳಿರುವಂತ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Next question. Please note this question. Round green color seed producing pea plant are crossed with blue color seeds producing pea plant. Show the result of F2 generation with the help of checkerboard and mention the ratio of varieties of the plants. Okay. ನೋಡಿ. So which experiments you will explain for this question? ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ವೈ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ವೈ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ. ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳಿರುವಂತ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. Red flowering capital R. So that is the 4 o'clock plant is crossed with the white flowering, that is WW 4 o'clock plant. There is 25% of red flowering and 25% of white flowering and 50% hybrids are obtained in the F2 generation. Okay. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, what are the characteristics of F1 generation plants? Show the results of F2 generation with the help of checkerboard and mention the genotypic ratio. And third question, determine the traits that can be considered either as a dominant or recessive by analyzing the results of both F1 and F2 generation. ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Here 4 o'clock plant that is producing the red flower, that is capital R, that is the dominant. Okay. And white color capital W. F1 generation plants, here gametes, that is capital R, and here gamete capital W. F1 generation plants, they are producing capital R and capital W, but these are not neither red nor white. So these are pink color flowers, because ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ 4 o'clock ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ವೈಟ್ ಕಲರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ RW ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಿಂಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್. ಓಕೆ, ನಾಟ್ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್, ಪಿಂಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನೋಡಿ, F2 ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ R W ಕ್ರಾಸ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ R W ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಚೆಕ್ಕರ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ R W ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ R W ಆದಾಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ R W ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ R W W. ಈಗ R ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ರೆಡ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್, ರೆಡ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್. RW ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಿಂಕ್, and WW ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ that is the white. Okay. So like this you have to solve this question. Okay, dear students, I hope this class is very useful for you people. Thank you. We'll continue in the next class.